Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Well, today we're going to be discussing where NFTs are in their cycle and which ones are dead, what types of projects have a brighter future than others. We're going to talk about a lot of the things that have been happening in the background with global brands, sporting teams, different countries taking a more favourable stance towards NFTs. And a lot of the time, this is the stuff that's happening in the background while the market feels very dead and prices are low. Now, obviously, for crypto in general, we've been in a bear market for a fair while now. And in previous cycles, we see Bitcoin tend to lead and then altcoins follow. And this has been the first cycle where we've had NFTs as another, digital asset class that have really been beat up. And they'll probably be the last ones to take off and get into that next bull market stage whenever that comes about for Bitcoin and other crypto assets. So for now, prices are really down in the doldrums. We've been doing some research on some of our favorite projects. We're going to dive into that a little bit today. So LVMH is one of the biggest brands in the world, parent company of Louis Vuitton and Tiffany and a lot of other luxury brands. These are companies that are global with millions and millions of customers, and they've been dipping their toe in the water. So selling these treasure trunks marks the first time the luxury brand will sell NFTs, access to future products and perks. And that's kind of the angle that a lot of these companies are trying out. So Cloudy Bay is another one of their subsidiaries, partnering up with World of Women on the same day as the Louis Vuitton announcement. As we see here, we've got Tiffany & Co. Releasing CryptoPunk pennants. If you go into store, again, there's extra perks and services, and these are the kind of things that particularly high net worth individuals want, that little something extra. So World of Women is another great project that we've covered in detail in our research in the past. We've seen them partnering up with FC Barcelona. So, these are huge sports teams, 47 million followers on Twitter, hundreds of millions of fans around the world. We've seen the captain, Alexia, there with her getting involved in this NFT project as well. So this piece sold for $300,000 on OpenSea. So yeah, there's still interest out there in the background, and people want those premium benefits, special seats at the soccer, merchandise, these extra things. If people hold it in a digital wallet in this digital online world that we live in these days, all these things are integrating into mobile. We've seen Etihad Airways with the Horizon Club Web3 loyalty program. So stake your NFTs for miles, and you can have a look at that on their website there. So, huge global brands and a lot of people unaware that this is happening in the background. And a bit like we saw in other crypto cycles, with people starting to say, hey, other businesses, we might use this blockchain technology, or there's something to this crypto thing here. We're starting to see that now with NFTs, and people starting to realize the potential of the technology itself. So Reddit have got their Gen 4 NFTs and avatars coming up. Don't forget, these guys have onboarded already 10 million into the crypto space with your Reddit wallet when you sign in. I think the latest figures are somewhere around 50 or 60 million daily active users, and slowly but surely more and more people are going to be familiarizing themselves with these wallets. And I definitely think that wallet infrastructure is one of the themes that needs to really be worked on and become a lot better user experience for that next bull market cycle to onboard a lot of users. And there's plenty of projects as well. An area of research that we'll be focusing on is that wallet infrastructure, because it is still far too hard for a lot of people to set up that MetaMask account and hold their own keys and that type of thing. One of the other huge industries around the world, gaming, $150 billion annually. Gamers are spending on in-game items that they don't own. So that shift to owning all your digital assets, and maybe they become rarer in future, or they're interoperable with other games. All those things that we've discussed in the past, billions and billions of people playing these online games that are going to slowly introduce NFTs. And this is something we've been talking about for a few years now. I certainly think a lot of the best gaming projects are going to see new all-time highs and have another run in the next cycle as scaling comes on board. The games are getting better, more users, all that type of thing is certainly happening in the background when you look at the numbers under the hood. Certain countries are taking a far more favourable stance towards this sort of thing. So Japan approves this Web3 white paper to promote the industry. for a cool Japan, sticking up with the modern times and saying, yeah, let's go hard on this technology. We've seen that in Bali as well, where a lot of our research team are based now. There's still weekly conferences discussing all this type of thing, and the government are getting behind the technology and funding a lot because they want it to come there when places like the US are really sort of cracking down on crypto at the moment. Japan PM reaffirms those plans as Binance announces their imminent launch in Japan. This is a recent report from Binance just talking about the future growth of the market and potential size. That $16 trillion figure as more and more assets go digital, go on chain, tokenizing, all that kind of thing. And there's plenty of projects that are working on all this in the bear market that I think are going to come in favor. That real world assets is another one we've done research on. Hong Kong, another country, setting up a $50 million task force, getting the smart young minds involved. They've always been forward thinking and tech based over there as well, so it's great to see that happening throughout Asia. Now, in terms of, I guess, what are the blue chip NFTs versus the newer ones, and it's a lot like previous altcoin cycles, 2014 and maybe even 2017 when we saw 99% of projects not bounce back. So I think that's going to be the same for NFTs. A lot of those projects aren't going to bounce back and reach new all-time highs, but some of these ones that have, I guess, the sentimental value and the history behind them, they don't have to do a lot to maintain that collector value. So we've got things like CryptoPunks and Bored Apes, probably a few others, and we see that volumes are down and prices are down on those. But I think there's another one that's flown a little bit under the radar that we've done research on. We're pretty bullish on. That's the Curio card. So some of these are even older, like predating the CryptoPunks. We've seen people like Gary Vee tweet about these a fair bit. He feels that they're the affordable punks. I think Beeple's mentioned these as well, partnering up with Christie's Auction House. So these are the kind of things, the guys that have got a lot of influence and a lot of followers talking about which ones they like. It creates those network effects. And Gary's done really well with his V friends and all the different perks that come with those as well. So one to mention here is Apple's, the very first NFT and minted and sold on Ethereum, as I just mentioned before. So that's one to have a look into. You can read our research on these if you like, but probably a little bit under the radar, and people aren't aware that that's older than punks. I've mentioned this before, but yeah, pretty standard stuff to see in a bear market. Weekly trading volumes of NFTs. Different exchanges. We saw a bit of excitement when Blur came online and took a bit of that market share off OpenSea. They've started to do a few things to look to get that market share back. But just like we see altcoin and Bitcoin trading volumes down on exchanges, it's pretty clear that we're in a bear market and there's not a lot of love and people are saying, oh, NFTs are dead. So that's normally the time when, the bottom's in or very close, or it's, start shopping around and seeing which ones you think are good value. So guys, that's pretty much it for today. For more in-depth research, obviously you can head over to our platform, use that search function to type in NFTs, altcoins, portfolios, whatever you want to see. But yeah, our research team's now pumping out daily alpha for those of you that are interested, and you can sign up over at nuggetsnews.com.au. So guys, a quick one there today for you. Let me know your thoughts on NFTs down in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share these videos around, and I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers.